Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Dyro here with another Options in Play video update. So tomorrow is one of the biggest events for the month with the CPI reading due out before the open. Uh, Now, we have rallied quite a bit going into this data release, and that does make for kind of like an interesting scenario in the sense that it's kind of difficult to know whether a, a cooler CPI is now expected and or priced in, or is there still the possibility of us moving higher if the CPI does come in lower than what the headline number, the lower than the expected headline number, right? And typically, like I don't like when we have like really big moves ahead of an event, but I still think like even after the run we've had that this is such like an important data release, and basically the last few months it has been a huge data release that we still should see some movement. All right. So in terms of the setups, right now the straddle on the Qs, because you don't have Tuesday expiration available, you have Wednesday, so that's really like the closest expiration. So the Wednesday, September 14th expiration straddle on the Qs is pricing in about 725, give or take. Okay, so that's all of tomorrow and all of Wednesday. And the SPY straddle is pricing in very similar amounts, so about 735. So again, September 14th expiration, so that's all of Tuesday and all of Wednesday. Now, in terms of how that stacks up to the last 3 or 4 CPI days, we have actually moved on average about 9 points top to bottom. So that's been our trading range. Um, the last the last four CPI release days. Okay, so that just gives you an idea of like how volatile we have been on the last 4 CPI data releases. So the last 4 months. So that's the average. The smallest move during that stretch was in July, which was only around like a $6 move, and the biggest move in that stretch was June, which was about $11 move. But you can see that with options pricing in about 725 and the recent average move being around 9, there might be some room left for like the straddle or strangle buyers, right? Especially considering those options contain Wednesday as well as Tuesday, right? So you have 2 trading sessions instead of just one. Now, in terms of like the levels, Qs are basically bouncing right into the 20-day. Really, for me, like the closest upside level is going to be like this pivot, which is right from the Jackson Hole conference, right? So we rallied the day ahead of Jackson Hole, and we failed, had a huge reversal the day of. So this is going to be the next big spot, and that's up around like 320 to 321. So quite a bit of room on the upside. On the downside, I mean, we were down in the low 290s just a few days ago. So what you're going to want to watch to see is if we slide back below the 8 EMA and the 100-day, which is around 304, and we start to lose that, then things could snowball to the downside pretty quickly. So I think this 304 area is probably going to be a pretty important area for the Qs to hold, because otherwise it slips back below the 8 EMA and the 100-day, and then there isn't a whole lot until it gets down to like the low 290s. For the SPY, pretty similar setup. You can see the closest reference point is the Jackson Hole and the day before, like that high, and then there's a clear unfilled gap above it up to like 422.14. All right. On the downside, same idea, but even more an important cluster zone, because you can see right here, you have the 100-day, the 50-day, and the 8 EMA all kind of like have combined in a range around 402 to 403. So if this slips back below 402, that could be a pretty net negative development, and in which case, there could be plenty of room to the downside, including like the unfilled gap at 438, which from last week. So those are the levels to watch, and I mean we've been talking about the CPI for a while. The market's really really going to be scrutinizing the numbers, and then I mean the Fed is super focused on them when we have the Fed meeting next week. So a lot can change real quick. All right, so it's going to be a big event. I'm expecting volatility, and I think the volatility could remain elevated through next Wednesday in the FOMC rates decision. So looking forward to some busy trading here. All right. If you like this video and you're looking for more information about trading events with options, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Have a great night. Best of luck if you're playing anything tomorrow. Stay well, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.